Creatures of the night. It's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Rampage. We did start off with tag team action. We had Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King versus Ari Daivari and Tony Nese. We did have our boy Josh Woods also ringside with the Premier Athletes. And we also had Smart Mark Sterling as well. Now, this was actually a fun, great little tag team match here. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, all right, in terms of winner, we already know what's going on here. For those of you who don't watch Ring of Honor, for a while, they were making the Premier Athletes to look like this big deal. They had vignettes, they had promos, they had all these things going on. And I was just like, holy shit, they're really trying to make these guys a big deal. However, they've been featured on AEW and they've been taking some L. Okay, they've been taking L's the whole way through. And honestly, I kind of don't like that. But they had a really great match with Malachi and Brody. Of course, we had Josh Woods getting involved. Of course, we have Mark Sterling putting himself as a sacrifice and end up getting hurt in this match. And yes, there's cheating involved, obviously. However, Malachi, Brody end up prevailing and taking the win here. I think both of these teams looked really, really great. And I do hope that we get a chance to see more of the Premier Athletes on, who knows, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, somewhere. So I do think they're super talented. Just get a lot of opportunities to be on TV. Now, they did mention about our homie Buddy Matthews, who's doing better than everyone else in life right now, who has this knee injury and they don't know when he's coming back. And I thought that was really interesting because obviously he did get married to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley came back on WWE this Monday, and maybe we might see Buddy Matthews come back pretty soon. We'll see. Now, up next, we got Roderick Strong, who's going to be in action. And you guys know what that means. When so-and-so is in action, it's a squash. Now, before he comes on out, we have Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly coming to join Daddy Magic and Tony Schiavone for commentary. Why? I have no clue. And I kind of found this to be a little bit weird because it seems like Kyle has been avoiding the Undisputed Kingdom and Roderick, and then he comes to sit out and listen on commentary and whatever. Like, aren't you supposed to be avoiding them because you don't want to be friends with them? A little bit on the weird side. Now, we do have Roderick who get in the ring, and some poor unfortunate soul, some jobber whose name is Ben Bishop, is already in the ring. He is huge. He is tall, and he looks very interesting. And I'm just like, oh, Roderick is not going to beat this guy in 2.5 seconds. And unfortunately, he does. And really, this guy, whoever he is, I've never seen him before. He has, okay, how he looks, he got great presence. The ring gear, I would definitely fire whoever made that. However, something about him just seemed intriguing to look at. And I was just like, hey, I would actually like to see what this guy can do. But you guys know when it comes to these squash matches to like indie wrestlers and whatnot, they don't necessarily get much out of these people. So unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be a match worth watching. Now, after the match was over, Orange Cassidy and them, they're standing at the stage and they're looking at the Undisputed Kingdom in the ring, having a little stare down from like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet apart. And I'm just like, okay, so the beef between you guys are not over. Whatever the situation is, Kyle O'Reilly, leave that damn group and go on over with your bros. I think it'll be a better fit for Kyle O'Reilly to join the Undisputed Kingdom. Now, after this, we do get a video from Deonna Purrazzo, who's talking about how she's the virtuosa. She looks like she's like in a mansion and she's got a cup of wine. She just looks so great. I find it so interesting that this story is still going on between her and Thunder Rosa, and it doesn't feel old. It doesn't feel like it's ran its course. It just still feel like something that I'm interested in seeing. And I guess other people will say the same thing too. They somehow manage to keep rolling something with these two girls, and people are still feeling interested to see what ends up happening between the two of them. Now, I do have a little bit more to say on that in a minute. Now, we do also have a four-way match. don't know about who wins or whatever, but it's a high flying 4-way match. We have Commander versus AR Fox versus Angelico versus Ray Fenix. And oh my God, it is just so apparent when we turn from commercial. Ray Fenix is making his way out to the ring, his music playing, and he's going out there, everybody cheering, ooh and eyeing, losing their panties over Ray Fenix. Meanwhile, the other three are already in the ring. And I was just like, oh, okay, so we giving it away that quick? Oh, man. Really great match. And you guys know how it is with all these high flyers in the ring. The energy, people love this type of style, especially people who are just like, not necessarily hardcore fans. The high flying style is always a good way to win people over who aren't necessarily wrestling fans. Now, we do have AR Fox that is, oh my God, he is in pristine shape and he's amazing in the ring. And I just don't understand, like, why I keep bringing this guy out to lose every motherfucking time. I'm over it. Absolutely over it. But I do think like they gave it away so quickly with Ray Fenix coming out and everyone else having the jobber's entrance. It seemed apparent who won't end up taking the win. And then we do have Ray Fenix taking the win via submission on AR Fox. And I'm just like, oh, was the match great? Absolutely, it was. However, same people always winning, same people always losing. Very, very annoying, but still worth the watch. Now, after this, we do have them showing what happened to Samoa Joe. I think we all would like to forget what happened between Samoa Joe and the Learning Tree. However, the Learning Tree, Brian Keith, and Big Bill, they back there with Renee Paquette, and Renee Paquette is just like, Chris, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what was all that about with Joe? And Chris Jericho obviously saying, hi guys, hi. And then he goes on to say like, people don't listen to the Learning Tree, they're going to get hurt. And how there's some more lessons to be learned. And I guess he's going to be having his little daytime, little talk show thing that he does on Dynamite, in a couple of days. And honestly, and I don't know where we're going with this. Big Bill has something to say after that. And then here comes Brian Keith talking about respect Chris Jericho. And I'm just like, no, not me. After this, we do have Thunder Rosa versus Rachel Ellering of all people. Now, I mean, I don't know who's a Rachel Ellering fan or whatever, but I'm trying to say something nice. I really am. She seems sweet. She does. And that don't win matches. I know that. She goes against Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa beat her ass and ends up taking the win. But then after that, they go to like shake hands or whatever, like they sisters and everything. And I'm just like, girl, you just whooped her ass. After the bell had rung, you should continue to whoop her ass. That's what I would have did. But then again, Thunder Rosa is in the heel, so I get it. And, they were just being friendly after that match. And just when I can't stand two bitches being friendly, here comes Deonna Purrazzo attacking both Rachel Ellering and Thunder Rosa. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. Now, before these two girls could, team up and get their hands on Deonna quickly gets out the ring. And once again, I'm seeing these two girls going at it again. And I'm just like, I'm not bored of this. Something big might end up happening from this. Somehow, some way, they still got our interest with these two girls. And I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what they do next. Our main event on Rampage, of all places, is Shane Taylor Promotions versus Top Flight in Action Andretti. Why? So when I'm looking at these two teams here, I'm just like, put them on fucking Collision. All these guys here, they need the TV time. And sure, Rampage, I guess, is TV time, but not enough. Put them on a bigger show. Make these guys to be a bigger deal. There's no reason why neither one of these teams have the trios titles or even tag titles, something, which is just so strange to me. I'm not going to get into it in terms of who should be champion or whatever. This was a really great main event. Really great opportunities for both of these teams to, show off. I was a little bit nervous about Anthony Ogogo, who, even after watching this match, I am still not sold yet in terms of him fitting in with the group. I mean, it's like, I'm just like not sure yet. I would probably have to see more before I could feel like, okay, he fits in. At this point, I'm just not sure if I can say that that's the case. Now, in my opinion, Top Flight Action and Andretti, they look the best because they have more experience with each other and they definitely have similar styles. So they looked better and more, I don't know, had better chemistry in the ring in comparison to STP, but that's okay. If Tony Khan really wants to make this group a big deal, we should be seeing more trios action from this group so they can look like a really great trios. So, like I said, still a great match, just not the best chemistry out of the two teams. I really did think that Top Flight Action and Andretti was going to take the win. However, STP ends up taking the win. Shane Taylor ends up knocking the hell out of Action and Andretti for the win. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them winning it because, to be honest, that group been taking L's after L's after L's since Black History Month. And I'm trying to think, maybe, honestly, I'm not going to lie, maybe I could think of like one, maybe two matches that somebody has won out of that group since then. And I really want to feel like both these teams can be a bigger deal than what we see them to be, but unfortunately, it doesn't feel like that. Top Flight, Action Andretti, they should be holding titles. These guys should be a really big deal, and unfortunately, I don't see that being the case. Why aren't they feuding with the Bang Bang Gang? Why isn't SCB feuding with the Bang Bang Gang? It's something about it. It's just like, they unify the trios titles and those titles aren't moving. They're not even being defended. I'm not even going to mention the tag titles because those shits aren't being defended either. Very, very strange when it comes to title hogging in AEW. And I wonder if Tony Khan even sees this as an issue because it actually is. Championships are supposed to be a big thing. It's supposed to feel special. And when people are just holding them and not even defending them, you take away what's so special about these titles. And, teams like these two teams, they should be up and running for these types of things. And unfortunately, there's no opportunity to go around. We see House of Black, they're in something with Christian and everything, but not necessarily looking for titles. It's just really, really strange circumstances when it comes to that. Rampage was actually not bad. Would I go out my way to go watch it? Well, no, I wouldn't. However, all the clips from the matches are on YouTube. And, Rampage have been having some pretty good nights lately. But I know we can do better. So much better. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back tomorrow with Collision. I can't wait.